Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. My name is Sarah Lynn. I'm the head tutor and founder of Bettering Youth, and I'm very excited today because we have Kristen with us, and she and I are going to be discussing everything you need to know about our Number Ninjas group. So, Kristen, welcome. How are you?
Hello, Sarah Lynn. I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, really, really good. I'm very excited to know a little bit more about your experience. Like, why are we focusing on times tables?
100%. Been tutoring for a few years now, and over the time, I've experienced students really struggling in the top topics because their base is not solid. So, and mainly being times tables where they are struggling with their speed, they're struggling to remember because, I mean, even as a tutor, I don't use my times tables every day, or at least all of them. So they do tend to fade into our memory. And so this is just a refresher and to give them a few tips and tricks on how to recall their times tables quickly.
I love that. I think one thing that I've also noticed is that if students don't practice some of the more obscure times tables, even the ones that we think are easy, if they don't practice them, it's like they lose it. It's that whole use it or lose it thing. So, what can we expect in this course?
Sure. So definitely tips and tricks, as I've mentioned. We're going to be using word associations, rhymes. We're going to be using songs, hand gestures. So we're going to be using a few sounds and symbols. Just to create a different way that they're able to learn times tables, because a lot of the students that I've taught, they are parrot learning, and parrot learning it sometimes does not work best for some students, and trying to quickly recall odd numbers that sometimes repeat themselves, it can be a bit tricky. Absolutely. So definitely a lot of tips and tricks and to work on the recall.
I love that. And something that we've noticed as well is that parrot work, it doesn't always work. Like knowing things by rote doesn't mean that you can then apply it when you're doing something like a word problem. So how can we check in to make sure that the tips and tricks that you're teaching the students can be applied to what they're doing in the classroom? What kind of activities are you guys going to be doing for that?
We will definitely be working in test paper questions, word problems, being able to apply multiplication to different topics, measurement, conversions, time, decimals, money, even area and perimeter. We're going to be working over quite a few topics and working with students on how to apply, as well as working in a few other things like number bonds, how to work those word problems to get to the answer as efficiently as possible.
I love that. There's so many things that you touched upon there that I think our students are really going to benefit from. So we're going to be helping them hone their mental math skills to make sure that they can recall those numbers really quickly and efficiently. But then you're also going to have a second element to this course, which I think is going to be the cherry on top. It's going to be allowing students to really dive into, okay, now that I know my times tables, let's say it's the 6 times tables, how can I apply that to area and perimeter, which is another space that they find their times tables are needed. So that's a really fantastic thing as well. Well done on that.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah, talk to me about what the student themselves they can experience. So they log in. Is it going to be a lot of group work? Is it a lot of individual? Is it like whole class teaching? What's the approach going to be?
We're going to have a bit of everything. So we will be practicing a lot. For example, a few hand tricks we'll be doing as a whole class, and then we will be jumping into group work where they're able to work on their key cards, ask each other questions, do spot tests, work under a bit of time pressure, really try and bring in all of the tools and elements that we can around this topic.
I love that. So we're also going to be doing a little bit of time pressure. How can we make sure that we're supporting students who don't have those skills mastered just yet approach something like time pressure? I know that's a really big bugbear for a lot of our students. And now we're saying that we're going to put them under the pressure in a course. How can we kind of manage their worries and their anxieties while still pushing them to be a little bit more resilient?
Yes, 100%. A lot of students definitely experience time pressure and stress, sure, shame. But what we're going to be doing is creating a very fun environment for them to have fun with students that are also experiencing the same thing. When I say time pressure, it's not going to be hectic all at once. We will be working up to two more exam styled lessons and questions, but to reach there we are going to be bringing in a few slow fun activities, working with students, not putting peer pressure on an individual student, but rather having a bit of, time fun using cue cards between the students.
Yeah.
So definitely slowly bringing on the pressure. It won't be brought on all at once, I can promise you that.
Perfect. I love that. And already that makes me feel a lot more calm and at ease as well. So that's fantastic. So I love the idea there's going to be group work, there's going to be teaching. For some of our parents who really understand the need for times tables, but are uncertain of like, what kind of tips and tricks can Kristen actually teach my child? They've been working at it, perhaps they're year 5, year 6, and they've been working at their times tables and it's still not getting there. So what kind of tips and tricks can we expect from this course that might actually allow that student to know them?
Oh, if I can give you a sneak hint right now, is that there are definitely times tables where students are super confident and they know 2 times tables, 10 times tables, 11 times tables. We know those are the fun ones. 5 times tables as well. Sometimes they can be a bit tricky, but a 5 times table, for example, is very important as a base, same as 2s, 10s, and 11s. They allow the student to work from those bases instead of counting from 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3, that is what takes the time. So for a student to say, okay, I know what 3 times 5 is, I can now work out what 6 times 5 is, which could be a bit tricky. Sorry, 6 times 3 could be a bit tricky for some students. They'll be able to reach that answer a lot quicker.
Perfect. So we're looking at tips and tricks. We're looking at practical ways that they're going to be able to apply their knowledge. And in doing so, it's kind of like a bit of a review as well for things like converting units and area and time and money. So this is a jam-packed course. What kind of feedback can parents expect to see along the way?
They will definitely see their kids improving in their times tables. I'm open to any conversations. If parents would like to chat to me, I'm happy at any time to have a conversation with them. There will be a lot of resources coming their way and a lot of emails coming their way. Depending on the number of students, I may not be able to spend a lot of time on individual students over the 6-week period. But if a parent approaches and would like me to keep an extra eye, I'm happy to do so and provide feedback on that student specifically. That would be, perfect.
Amazing. And would there be like perhaps like a halfway point check-in or like a sentence that you can give at the halfway point, just saying your child has really progressed in such, and this is like their next step?
Yes, definitely. We're throughout all of the lessons, there will be, maybe this is a section I've noticed where students struggle mostly. Unfortunately, it will be a bit more broad, I'm sure you'll be able to pick up if your child fits into that message or not. But yes, there will be continuous communication throughout, and feedback on how the sessions are going as well, how they found the classes, what I found worked. If they I had with a student, for example, it was actually 3 times 6 he struggled with. So we created a little car on the cue card, for example. So I will give feedback to parents on those little tips and tricks that I found help the students, so they can continue reinforcing them at home.
Perfect. And I think that's a really key point. So whatever we're doing in lesson, while it can act as a standalone, students will see progression a lot quicker if that momentum is maintained and echoed at home as well.
Yes.
Amazing. So if parents are interested and they want to get involved, let's just highlight for them who specifically we think should be part of this course.
So students who do struggle to recall their times tables, specifically in parent learning, because it is very much the traditional way of learning. How I'll be running this course is very untraditional in the way in that it brings in a lot of creativity and kinesthetic movement, and so students will be able to be exposed to this boring, sometimes scary topic of times tables in a lot more fun way, and be able to recall those topics, give the students confidence in being able to tackle those tricky ones, 6, 7s, and 8s, definitely.
Yeah, I love that. And so when parents are ready to register their child, what day are they setting aside? What day is the trial?
Sure, students can join me on October the 26th at 4 p.m. That is a Thursday.
Amazing. And so all students are welcome to join us. The trial is £10 for the hour. And if you'd like to keep that awesome deal, then you are encouraged to register before October 31st. Because once October 31st happens and the clock strikes midnight, spooky things happen and the price raises to £13. So to lock in that deal, make sure you register before October 31st. And do you know, Kristen, when the 6-week course officially starts?
Then next week, Thursday, we will be starting.
Exactly that. So not October, it's November 9th at 4 p.m. begins the 6-week course. So you are all more than welcome to join the trial. And then if you're happy to continue with us, which we know you will be once you experience the very creative class, then November 9th is the first date in your diary.
Brilliant.
Perfect. Amazing. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. Myself and Kristen would be very happy to chat with you to see if your child is well suited for our group and to answer any questions that you may have. So we're going to pop off for now, but we're looking forward to seeing you guys very soon.
Perfect. Cheer, everybody. I hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.